Section 35 talks about that when an act is criminal by reason of its being done with the criminal knowledge or intention. Basically, when an act is done by the criminal knowledge or intention. Okay. 36 is effects caused partly by the act or partly by the omission. कोई एक्ट करने से हुआ या तो आपकी ओमिशन करने से हुआ. Omission is a breach of duty. When you breaches your duty is known as omission, and act is when you done any act. You have done any act, that is act. Omission is when you are on a duty and you are just not performing your duty properly. So that is omission. And act can be done by anybody. Okay. So 37 is cooperation by doing one or several act constituting an offense. बहुत सारे लोगों के मिलने से जो कि एक्ट या ऑफेंस कंस्टिट्यूट किया गया है, दैट इज dealt under 37. Okay, let's come to 38. 38 is person concerned in criminal act may be guilty of different offenses. 39 is voluntarily. 40 is offense. 41 is special law. 42 is local law. 43 is illegal. 43 is illegal. Remember this. 43 is illegal. Legally bound to do. ठीक है. और 44 is injury. 45 is life. 46 is death. 47 is animal. 48 is vessel. 49 is year, month. 50 is section. 51 is oath. 52 is good faith, and 52 is harbor. Okay, let's come to the chapter 3, that is punishments. Okay, so the first section of this chapter is 53, talks about punishment. This section enumerates the various types of punishment that can be imposed for offenses under this IPC. Okay, 53A talks about the construction of reference of transportation, which means that this section deals with interpretation of reference of transportation in legal context, providing clarity on the nature of punishment. Okay, 54 talks about the commutation of the sentence of death. This section allows for the conversion of reduction of a death sentence to a lesser punishment by the appropriate authorities. Okay, basically it talks about the commutation of death sentence. 55 talks about the commutation of imprisonment of life. उसमें भी कम करवाना है. 55 में चले जाओ फिर. Similar to the above, this section allows for the reduction of life imprisonment sentence to lesser term as deemed appropriate. Okay, 55A talks about the definition of appropriate government. This section defines the appropriate government concerning the authority responsible for making decisions related to commutations or other matters. Okay, तीनों चीज़ें एक साथ आ गई. 54 commutation of death sentence, 55 commutation of imprisonment of life, or 56 talks about the appropriate government, which will make decisions related to the commutation or other matters. 56, 58, 59, 61 and 62 are repeals. 57 talks about the fraction of terms of punishment, deals with the calculation and treatment of fractions when determining the duration of a sentence. ठीक है. 60 is sentenced by maybe wholly or partially rigorous or simple in certain cases of imprisonment. ठीक है. 60 talks about the sentence may be wholly or partially rigorous. Rigorous punishment की बात हो रही है. 60 में हो रही है पहले. ठीक है. This section allows for flexibility in determining whether a sentence of imprisonment should be wholly rigorous. Rigorous means with the hard labor, or partly rigorous, without hard labor. Okay, so this is explained under section 60. Section 61 2 is repealed. Section 3 is amount of fine. This section specifies the monetary penalty that can be imposed as a part of sentence. Okay, so you need not to go to the jail, or you need not to go anywhere else, just pay the amount or fine. Okay, so this is a kind of punishment. Then let's come to section 64. Section 64 to 69 deals with the imprisonment and fine related sections. So, okay, so we were talking about fine in 63, then these are correlated sections. This section 64 talks about the sentence for imprisonment for non-payment of fine. If you're not paying it, then you will be sentence of imprisonment there, or you will be detained. Fine. Section 65 limit to imprisonment for non-payment of fine when imprisonment and fine awardable. 66 description of imprisonment for non-payment of fine, that how many punishment will someone get. Section 67 imprisonment for non-payment of fine when offense punishable with fine only. Okay. 68 is imprisonment to terminate on payment of fine. Section 69 talks about that termination of imprisonment on payment of proportional part of fine, that you had paid some part of the fine and you are not able to pay more, and this section will help you to termination of imprisonment because you have paid in portional part of the fine. Okay, not you or someone else who may be detained or who may be in the prison. Don't take it on yourself. Okay, let's come to the section 70. Fine liable with 6 years or different. With 6 years or during imprisonment. This section addresses the time frame during which fine can be collected, emphasizing the fine can be collected within 6 years or during the imprisonment period. Okay. 71 and 72 talks about the limitation of punishment for multiple offences. This section establishes these sections establish limits on the commutative punishment or offences made up of several distinct offences. Section 1 basically talks about 71 limit of punishment of offense made up of several offences. And section 70 talks about the punishment for person guilty one or several offences. Okay. The judgment stating that is doubtful of which punishment for person guilty of one or several offences. The judgment stating that is doubtful of which. Okay. Section 73 is solitary confinement and its limits. 74 talks about the limits. This section defines solitary confinement as a form of punishment and set limit on its duration. Fine. 75 talks about the enhanced punishment for certain offences after previous convictions. This section stipulates increased punishment for certain offences if the accused has a previous conviction. Okay, तो कोई habitual offender है उसकी बात हो रही है. Serving as a deterrent against repeat criminal behavior. Section 75. Okay, so this chapter is over here. Come to the chapter 4.